Policies. Malcolm's here, Kate. Cool. District Sycamores Building Regulation Bylaw 1056/2025 adoption. Nicole, there's a recommendation that the District of Sycamores Building Regulations Bylaw number 1056/2025 be adopted this 26th day of November 2025, and that the District of Sycamores Building Regulation Bylaw number 700/2008 be repealed. Could I get a mover? Councillor Evans, Councillor Rich, Nicole.
Thank you through the chair. I do have the slides from our last meeting a couple of weeks ago. I wasn't going to go through them all, but if you want me to, I can. In general, the building regulations bylaw 1056/2025 is going to replace our 2008 bylaw, which has had a couple amendments to it. Our building official has gone through it intensely and let us know what should be updated or omitted. Internal staff has reviewed the document and provided recommendations, especially from the operations department, confirming that it meets the subdivision servicing bylaw on their end. So if you would like me to go into more detail, I can, but this is adoption of the building regulations bylaw.
You know what? I think we're just going to call the question. All in favor? And that's carried. Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you.
Okay, fees and charges amendments, amendment bylaw number 1098/2025, first, second, and third reading. Recommendation of the District of Sycamores fees and charges. Amendment bylaw number 1098/2025 be read at first, second, and third time this 26th day of November 2025. Could I get Councillor Evans, Councillor Bushel? Nicole, take it away.
Yep, thank you through the chair. So I don't have any slides for this one, but now that the building bylaw has been adopted, there is a proposed amendment to the fees and charges bylaw to add a fee for citing permits now that that's been added into the building bylaw. So the amendment is to add $150 application fee for citing permits to the fees and charges bylaw. That's it.
Any questions? Call the question. All in favor? And that's passed. Thank you. Public notice bylaw number 1112/2025. Recommendation of the District of Sycamores public notice bylaw number 1112/2025 be given first, second, and third reading this 26th day of November 2025. Councillor Evans, thank you. Councillor Beach. Donna, do you want to take that?
Thank you through the chair. I'm bringing this forth on behalf of Camden. So at the last committee of the whole meeting, she had brought forth a draft of a public notice bylaw, and there was some discussion and with regards to how many times, that we publish in the paper and whether we could reduce that, allow us to reach our largest audience. Following that, Kara, our intern, and Camden did some consultation with our seniors, had some conversations about where they're actually getting their information from. And I think that everybody was very comfortable with moving forward with the bylaw as it was presented. So the bylaw is our statutory, how we put out our statutory notices and what we're planning to do. There's a policy, a companion policy that is going along with this bylaw. So the bylaw is the requirements, and then the policy is reflecting what council's wishes were. And that is for publication. And I think we're going with publication in the paper one time. And it's just allowing us, the policy allows us to be a little bit more flexible with some of the timing on things, because the newspaper is a little difficult to hit some of those statutory requirements of the full 2 weeks. And so if we go down to one publication and then utilizing our other means to publish those notices out there. And any questions from council with regards to that? This also gives us the ability, if at some point then we do want to go with a fully digital sort of, that we can. We don't have to amend the bylaw to do that. We just would, the policy would no longer be in effect.
Councillor Evans.
This just makes a lot of sense. Everything's changed so much in the last 5 years, and so I just think it makes sense that we pass this tonight.
Thank you. Anyone else? Let's call question, all in favor? And that's carried, thank you. Zoning amendment bylaw number 1113, 2025, first and second reading. Recommendation, the District of Sycamore zoning amendment bylaw number 1113, 2025 be given first and second reading this 26th day of November 2025. Could I get a mover on that? Council Bushel, Council Rich, Nicole.
Okay, thank you through the chair. So this proposal is for 113 Wet Up Street. It also has the address of 1005 or 1009 Riverside Avenue. The property is outlined in, I guess, aqua color there. It's a hooked parcel across Riverside. So on one side is 113 Wet Up, on the other side is the Riverside property. So the one that's on the waterfront, under the official community plan, it's Commercial Waterfront Town Center. And then on the east side of Riverside, it's Riverside Transition Area. And then under the zoning, it's both, or it's all one, is zoned C3 Waterfront Commercial. So I know that's super tiny writing. I'm not going to go through it all, but the proposal is to rezone the property from C3 Waterfront Commercial to MUR2 Seasonal Accommodation. So in terms of density, that might be a difference there, but setbacks, parcel coverage, all of that is generally in line with these two. The biggest difference is that MUR2 would allow short-term rentals. So if you go to the next slide here, weird, but the proposal, if rezoned, is to facilitate a development permit with 36 residential units, and then a marina office and visitor and boat or trailer parking on the east side of Riverside Avenue. Okay, so a couple things to talk about with this. When we were reviewing the proposal, we noticed in the MUR2 zone, it had some pretty specific general regulations. And I'm just going to read them out here. Okay, so for ground floor design, if you're developing, you need units that are facing the street to have the major entrance face the street and be at grade with the sidewalk and designed to function as a commercial entrance. It's a pretty specific sentence there. This development as proposed doesn't have that commercial component to it. So that's something to consider. And the second bullet under the MUR2 zone is that on Riverside Avenue, and of course that's where we are, multi-unit dwellings must include a minimum of 50 meter square commercial floor space. So those two wouldn't be met with this proposal. However, when I did a review of other properties that are currently zoned MUR2 along Riverside, none of them have this commercial component, and throughout the rest of town, they don't have that commercial component. So this property and one other property, 630 Riverside Avenue, which is also talking about development, neither of these two have commercial proposed. So if you go to the next slide, we talked about that at the Planning Development Committee meeting, and a resolution was passed that this zoning bylaw amendment should be passed. And when we talk about what that looks like, it would rezone the property from C3 to MUR2, but it would also remove those two sentences from our zoning bylaw. So we did a review of the current OCP. That language is in there. So if council did want to have commercial on Riverside or in MUR2 zoned properties, there's the ability to work with the developer to make that happen. But what we're suggesting is that just remains in the OCP as a guideline, and we take it out of the zoning bylaw and allow this property to rezone without having that commercial component. Was it?
Council, any questions? Councilor.
Through the chair, and Nicole, maybe you can answer for me. My biggest concern on this one, and as we try to beautify Sycamore with the extra, like I know that the idea is that you can pull your boat out of the water and leave your trailer in a space. What's that going to look like that I'm in 20 years I'm walking down Riverside and it's all this beautiful little walk, and then are we kind of promoting that we've got, and I know we have a lot of storage space there already, so don't get me wrong. I'm hoping we're leaning against that and we're kind of making this beautiful loop around town. What does that look like?
Okay, thank you. Thanks for asking. That was a good point that was discussed at the Planning and Development Committee, and something that we will bring forward as part of the development permit for this proposal. But yeah, so what was talked about at the Planning and Development Committee is that when on Riverside, where the parking is going to be proposed, is that there would be something more significant than obviously a chain link fence, but some type of landscaping as a buffer between your nice walk on Riverside Avenue and then this parking or boat storage on the east side of Riverside. So that will be coming in the development permit to council. I don't know when that's coming, but it will be, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You will, Councillor Bush.
Yeah, through the chair, I just add that, you know, it's a nice looking development. It's going to help improve the waterfront area, get the walkway happening in that area. And yeah, there's a component of parking on the other side, but it's all tied in with the development, and they indicated that they're going to landscape it nicely in our DP. And yeah, I think it's going forward. It's a great development for the community.
So I just have a question about it. The marina that's there right now will belong to that development. Is that correct? So if you buy a condo there, you get a boat slip, or I'm not sure how that works.
Through the chair, I'm actually not sure if that's the agreement that the developer would have in place, but the developer is here.
Oh, okay. I guess, yeah, and I guess answer the question is because I think with the marina would belong to the upland owner, which would be the strata.
Correct. So I'm the architect on the project, so the developer can speak a little bit further to it. But my understanding is that the marina is going to operate basically as it is right now. So basically there'll be a first come, first serve, or whoever is grandfathered in will rent a slip, and then those profits will go to the strata. But it doesn't necessarily mean, so whoever buys that unit can also apply to get a slip. So it's basically open to the public, or whoever would like to rent a slip there.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Councillor Bushel.
It's similar to what we did at Mare Landing. Is we had too much property for the amount of and boat slips. So what we did was we ran a marina out in front of Mare Landing, and until the development was completely sold, then we turned it over. Well, here they have enough room. All the boats, they're only putting in 32 condos, and they have enough boat slips. In addition, then they have.
Oh, and then addition. Okay.
So it'd be a way of the strata still running a marina, and also, you know, no fuel or anything like that, but running a moorage marina, and they'll be able to have some extra slips that the revenue would go back into the strata, and it would lower the strata fees. So it's kind of unique, and it's I mean, it happens in Vancouver and all over the place, and it did happen at Mare Landing. So
Yeah,
it's a great concept, and yeah, that's what the developer had initially.
Okay, I didn't realize that there was excess spaces there. So, okay, no, that's wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for answering that. Okay, any other questions? Okay, let's call the question. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Okay, CAO report. Pete, this is your very first official.
Council adopted an amendment to the procedure bylaw to ask me to report monthly to council, and this is the first report that I've done under that context or that amendment. So I provided council with just a brief outline of some of the things that are going across my desk at this point in time, some things that you've been involved with and some things you may not have seen. So I'm providing this on a monthly basis, just to sort of the highlights of what we're doing in the organization, and to really get some feedback from council on, and an opportunity to ask me any questions you may have about those components. So I'll open it up to you.
Any questions based on Dean's report? Councilor Bushel.
Through the chair, anything on Petrocan yet? Lena?
It is going through its process. It did close. We understand that there is components. There's been a selection process. The finalization of those processes is not as simple as just you pick somebody. There's a transaction that has to happen. The courts have to approve the sale. So that's what's happening at this point. The expectation is in sometime in the next month or so, we would hear what the results were, but it's up to the courts.
Councillor Rich?
Yeah, sorry, through the chair. So I'm confused, Dean. So someone's trying to buy it and then it's gonna get bought and cleaned up? Is that where we're going with this?
That's not on here.
No, so the Petro-Canada has gone through a receivership process where it goes bankrupt, goes through the courts.
Yeah.
And they have a process where people can put a bid to purchase out of receivership. That then gets approved by the financiers, the banks. Essentially, they finance the money. They will select one, but they have to go back to the courts and say, this is what we've selected to take. They'll approve it, and then that's when the transaction takes place. The actual ownership doesn't move to that proponent until they put money on the counter. So whatever that payment's going to be approved by the courts, the payment is made, they will take over, and then the expectation would be that they make the permit applications to complete the structure and reopen the business.
Councillor Evans?
Thanks, and thanks for explaining that through the chair. And so that's what's holding up the cleanup, because we can't go in there and just clean it up ourselves.
The complexity to that is twofold. The land was separately financed from the building. So it's the business and the building are separately financed and they're separate receivers. So we've had responses from one group of receivers on one piece and the second part of receivership on the second piece, which is the property. They did accommodate us in some components, but not fully and completely. And part of that is the complexity of the receivership having two separate loans and two separate bankruptcies going on at the same time.
Councillor Rich?
Yeah, and just to follow up to that, so I guess that's where I'm confused, because probably 4 to 6 months ago, you said that when we had a receivership, that we could then go to the receiver. If they didn't clean it, we could then build them back, clean it ourselves and get it done. And obviously someone came in and it kind of looked like they pulled all the good stuff out. And all the junk is now left there and is still blowing around and looking quite messy. So because 4 months ago you had said that we could clean it up and then build them back as soon as we had a receiver. So from what I'm hearing is we do have a receiver, but we have two receivers. So can we clean it up and build it back and get it? Because it's nasty, and we're gotta be close to 8 months into this now. I don't know the date right away, but I think we're about 8 months, hey?
About that.
Yeah.
So the components that we're looking at that time were like the weeding and the weed whacking around the perimeter and some of the garbage that was blowing around. They did address those pieces. There was a large blue bin there that people were putting garbage into. So those pieces we did get action on. Some of the cleanup stuff, they have said most of the building material that's left there is actually going to be purchased and become part of the new owner's work. So they've done as much as they're willing to do. So we've pushed them as far. We can't send crews onto a private property and begin works in this particular process. We're anxiously waiting for the new owner to come on board because they've already been advised that they need to come to us as far as permitting and get this thing rolling.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Maybe we should just put up a free sign at the gate there. Every material for free. It'll all be
Help
gone.
yourself.
It'll all be
Help
gone
yourself.
tomorrow.
Just kidding.
I'm just kidding.
Councillor Beach?
Through the chair, is there any condition put on any of the agreement with the new owners as to how long they can take to get up and running? This could go on forever, like to actually do something there. Do we have we put any conditions on, or can we?
We have a long list of conditions as far as reopening the business.
Yeah.
And getting operational. There's building code issues and other components that need to be addressed. One of the key components for us is the transfer of the piece of land that their roadways are sitting on.
Yeah.
Everybody that's applied to purchase the property made inquiries to us. They were provided all of that information as part of their purchasing. They're aware of it. The expectation is once they put money down to purchase the property, they're going to want to move forward and get it open.
Okay.
Okay. All right, thanks, Dean. Okay, resolutions. Unfortunately, Clayton couldn't be here tonight, but we are still going to move forward with the recommendation that council appoint Clayton Allen as fire chief for the district of Sycamoose Fire Department in accordance with section 3 of the district of Sycamoose Fire Department bylaw number 126, 1955. Councillor Evans, Councillor Bushel, any comments? Well, I'm just going to say that I am super happy that Clayton has accepted this position, and he is a very big part of our community. So I think his team is very excited as well, and I know that he will do a great job for us. So I welcome Clayton, and let's call the question then. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Okay, correspondence. Before we get into correspondence, we did get this is where teens go, what are you doing? We got an email from the food bank the other day asking for any donations that, and I think it went to all of us as counselors, asking for any donations that we could provide. And Bianca, I think there's $1,000 left in the Mayor's Serendipity Fund. I'd like to transfer that to the Valley Food Bank, please. No, it's just the Mayor's Serendipity Fund. And there was some remaining balance, so I just want to support our community with it. Okay, thank you. Okay, we're going to go into correspondence. Bill M216. I think, Dean, I'll let you just explain what's going on with that, and we'll make a motion at the end of it.
So this is a private member bill that's been brought forward to the legislature. There's been a number of concerns expressed. The letter that we have here and the concerns we've heard through UBCM as well as PIBC and other agencies within BC. We would recommend the council instruct staff to provide a letter to UBCM expressing Sycamoose's concerns with this bill that's proposed in similar alignment with what the UBCM has identified.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or concerns? Councillor Evans?
I just think we're all very concerned with this bill and don't like the way that it evades any input from us at a municipal level, and will too much power in the already powerful Victoria folks down there that don't want to consult us on some of these things.
I'll make a motion. That we write a letter and support.
Yeah, I would like to make a motion, yeah, that we express our concerns about this and that the bill not go through until there's a full consultation with the municipalities, UBCM and Indigenous governments.
Thank you. Could I get a seconder? Thank you. That would be Councillor Beach. I too agree. We are getting downloaded by the province continually, and you are absolutely right, Councillor Evans, CAO. We are really beefing up Victoria with promises I think this government has made to them to look after and add staffing, but unfortunately, sometimes it's in the wrong spaces and doesn't meet the needs of those that are in the rural communities. I have never ever wanted a government to stop making decisions as much as I want this government right now to think about what they're doing and have more consultation and have more transparency and stop making decisions for British Columbians behind closed doors. So there's a lot. This is just one thing. There's a lot of items on their agenda right now that we are not included in, and that if we are not paying attention, just get moved forward. So I think it's really important for us to pay attention to what's going on around us and reading and making sure that if there is something coming up or coming, down the pipe, and it is remotely, if it remotely affects us, we should be all over it. We should be supporting our colleagues in other municipalities as well, to make sure that we still have democracy and we all get to make decisions. Okay, any other comments on that? I'll call the question, all in favor? And that's carried, thank you. Internal committees for information, planning and development committee, does anyone want to speak to anything there? No? Okay, Columbia Shoe Shop Regional District, read the regular board meeting from October the 16th. Anyone want to, go ahead, Councillor Bushel.
Through the chair, Colleen, can you just explain a little bit about the film commission? And you tried to get out of it and they wouldn't, they not have any.
I can explain that, exactly, right? No, I can definitely explain that, because it's a free service. So, and the board voted for it. So when you're sitting with 12 people and they all want to be involved and you're going, no, thanks, then it's carried. So our only way out was for me to get Dean to write a letter to opt out. Because as our concern was, part of the problem is we just got out of the film commission. Now we get back in and we're 6 years down the road, new council, new faces, new places, and we're paying $15,000 for a service that we really didn't want, but we don't know how we got here and we don't know how to get out. So I'm with the film commission and us just getting out of it, and we had all had a chat about it. We felt it was better not to jump back in. And we do have Carly, and Carly's got a connection there as well. So we've got we've got Sycamus Tours, and we can, I feel that we're strong enough, same as, Golden or Revy, to make those decisions on their own without having to be part of the film commission. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say, maybe that's one thing at UBCM we should get them to look at is these service agreements. Some of them are 40 years old. Maybe they should, I know they have a timeline that you can get out after 5 years of service. Maybe they should have another way of looking at it, like maybe they have automatically renew. Because it's something some of these service agreements are just outrageous.
Dee, before you answer that, were we not at Silga? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but are not the regional district agreements being reviewed by Young and Anderson, or Anderson Young, or one of the legals right over that, Dean?
The ministry has a program to actually do that across the province. So there's a process to that. And as the jurisdictions come forward and request that, the province evaluates them and provides guidance on that. So there is a process. They've developed a procedure for it. There's a recommendation from UBCM on it. Of course, from the province on it, the ministry. But the interesting thing was they will give you all the best advice, but no resources in order to do it. So it's on the table for the CSRD to do that with their bylaws. But it's as they get the opportunity to do that. John has indicated that he's going to move forward as the opportunity allows them to do those updates. There's now a process, there's a guide that's been created by the ministry, but no resources to help support that. So yes, there is a process that can be followed, but that hasn't been developed. Let's provide one more comment on the Film Commission. Council did pass a resolution. That was the request from the CSRD. We get a council resolution. So I forwarded my letter to the CSRD with that resolution, which now would opt out future council and would not be a part of, if it does become a fee for service, we would be exempted from that. Thank you.
Councillor Bishop, do you have your hand up?
No, I don't know what I was doing.
That's Rich.
Yeah, through the chair, I just wanted to say thank you to the CSRD Area E, which our high school here in Sycamus got $2,600 towards our hockey program and jerseys. And we actually the kids get credit for it. So it's a PE class, but it is through the CSRD, and the parents have to actually pay for the kids to play. And sometimes that's impossible in today's economy. And we were granted $2,600 for that. So appreciate it, because that gets more kids on the ice.
Absolutely. Yep. Okay, good. All right. Well, that's it. Do we have any public on the line that would like to?
Look like it.
This was an easy one. No one out there? No one out there in virtual land? Okay. Well, then let's move forward. Recommendation of the regular council meeting for November 26, 2025 be adjourned. Time being 5:33. Councilor Beach, Councilor Evans, all in favor? Thank you. That's a wrap.